it's a journey. I'm learning so much because this is my first time being a business owner. So what do I know about running a business?
Well,
Not
congratulations. Congratulations.
much. So, sometimes it gets overwhelming because, the ego mind goes all over the place and saying like you need to do this, you need to do that, you're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I meditate a lot, and I kind of just put the intention out to the universe, and I said, this is my first time being a business owner. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
All I can focus on is what's in front of me in my now moments. And I would like to focus on what brings me joy and peace, right? And I
Yeah.
said the
Mm.
big stuff, like where to get clients and, you know, and how to make money and all that kind of 3D stuff. I said, I leave it to you. Whatever
Yeah.
needs to come into my awareness.
Wow. Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie, and we're back at it again for another episode of Living Life Consciously. We have a very special guest lined up for you today, and I don't even want to waste any time. Let's just jump right into it.
Hey everybody, it's Justin with Living Life Consciously. Glad to be here as always. And today we have on Miss Priscilla Hanley.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank you for being
absolutely.
here.
Thank you for joining us and for sharing your energy with us. And for our audience who may be unfamiliar, Priscilla served on active duty in the United States Army from 2011 to 2019. She was deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2016 to 2017. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, she is a certified forgiveness and transformation coach and an Usui Reiki Roho master teacher. Priscilla specializes in distance Reiki healing for women and animals, specifically dogs, cats, and horses. She is a channel for universal healing energy to help women and animals release trapped emotions by transmitting vibrational frequency of calm, peace, and balance to their physical body and energetic system. As a forgiveness and transformation coach, Priscilla guides her fellow women to reclaim their power and unapologetically love and accept who they truly are through the process of letting go, forgiveness, and allowing what is without angst or judgment. After her divorce, she went through these processes herself, which she addresses in her free ebook called Forgiving from the Heart. She says, quote, "Healing was a difficult journey for me as I did not have anyone to guide me. I do not wish for any woman to be without a guide through her own healing journey. Having someone by your side to listen, comfort, and encourage makes all the difference. You don't have to do this alone." End quote. She feels it is her cherished privilege to help women harness the power of the divine feminine for their highest healing, saying, quote, "It is my honor and passion to be in service to my community. Let's connect." End quote. And you can find her at her website, which is www.pristinesoulhealing.com. And I'll have a little display down there for you guys to see that. And Priscilla, let's just jump in. Where would you like to begin? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here. And thank you, Ellie, for reaching out to me.
Absolutely.
Justin, it's nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Where will I like start? Well, let's start from the beginning then.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in Singapore,
Okay.
right? And I was raised as a Catholic.
Same.
Yeah. When I was I still remember when I was like 6 years old, my great grandmother would yell for me at like 6 o'clock every evening, to come back inside and kneel down and pray the rosary for like half an hour. So
Wow.
Oh wow.
yeah, so I started with Catholic teachings from a very young age. And then when I was 21, I got married to a Singaporean man.
Okay.
And, we were young and let's just say the marriage was just not healthy.
Okay.
Okay.
It's safe to
Okay.
leave it there.
Yeah. So we were married for about 10 years, but at year number 9, I filed for divorce.
Okay.
Okay. Because I kind of just got tired of it and we kind of drifted apart and I just felt it was time to leave.
Okay.
So when the divorce was finalized, I started going to church a lot because, I was depressed and I was kind of lost and I turned to my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was going to church almost every weekend and sometimes, even more times each week. And it was fine for me until it wasn't because I
Mm.
something just shifted in me when I started going to church a lot. And I just felt like I didn't want to deal with the fear-based teachings anymore.
Yes.
I think I just got tired with feeling less than, and
I completely can relate to that.
yeah. And just feeling like fearful of God and God would
Mm-hmm.
judge me when I die and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of got tired of, like I said, feeling less than and fearful. To be honest, I don't want a God who judges me, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I made a decision to stop going to church and I just wanted to be a free thinker and just not deal with religion or spirituality or anything like that.
You just
So
wanted to do your own thing and figure it out, right?
yeah, I just needed a
Okay.
break from religion.
I hear you.
Okay.
So I was a free thinker for a long time until 2019.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, let me back up first. So after the divorce, and then in 2006, um, I was working and at a company, and my boss's friend was an American man, and he visited from Florida, and so we met at the office, and we became fast friends, and long story short, we started to like communicate when he got back to Florida. He started emailing me, and you know after a few months he came back to Singapore to see me, and we kind
Aw.
of, yeah, it was like a whirlwind romance.
I was
We
just saying,
Aw.
you fell in love, girl. This is a love story.
He was a wonderful man, wonderful man. So we decided to be together, and then in June 2006, I just kind of like put my whole life in a suitcase and just said my goodbyes to my parents, and I just kind of took off to Florida, right?
That's brave.
And yeah, it felt right in my heart. It felt
Mhm.
right.
Right.
And if I had an ounce of fear, I wouldn't have done it. But
Gotcha.
it
Okay.
just felt right.
Okay.
So I get to Florida, and everything's beautiful. I'm really happy, and then we get married. So we got married in like November of 2006. And I did not do anything with my life. I just kind of like, I was happy being a housewife, right? And
Okay.
Okay.
then in 2010, 2011, I kind of just woke up in bed one day and I was like, whoa, it's like 4 or 5 years of my life has just passed. And I've really not achieved anything at all, right?
Mm.
And and so I just thought that it would be awesome to just, get a job and, start earning again. And my husband's son, my husband has 3 children.
Okay.
And my husband's son at that time, he was in the army, and he told me, why don't you join the army? You get free education, you travel around the world, and that appealed to me. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I
Okay.
went to the recruiters and I got into the army, and I shipped off to Oklahoma for basic training
Mm.
in
Okay.
2011, January. And when I got there, I was like, okay, what did I just get myself into?
Ooh,
You know?
reality sunk in there when you got there,
Oh,
right?
yeah, because, as soon as we got there, we were being yelled at and, like punished, get down and do push-ups. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
I don't know what I did, but
See,
it
that's
was
why I
tough.
never joined the military, man, because I'm not that type to be obedient. I'll be like, man, screw you. Get out of my
Yeah,
face.
you know what I found out? You just kind of need to blend in with the background, with the environment, and so they don't
Mm,
pick on you. If
right,
you
right.
speak up, that's when they're gonna target you.
Okay.
So so I did not say anything. And that's how I survived basic training, right? I just
Okay.
didn't say anything. I got in trouble a couple of times, but that was, it wasn't my fault, but it's just a way of breaking you down and
Yeah,
seeing,
yeah.
testing the waters. So
Hmm.
I
Okay.
just played the game and I didn't say anything. So anyway, I did 8 years of active duty with the Army. 2016, I found myself in Afghanistan for 9 months.
Wow.
And, that was an eye-opening experience. It was
Mm.
very rough. We were working like, 15, 16 hours every day
Oh,
Wow.
without a
wow.
break for 9 months.
Whoa.
Yeah,
In a very stressful environment on top of it.
exactly.
Mm.
So, yeah, but all things in life, all experiences in life serve us some way, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. So without that experience with the Army, I don't think I'll be where I am today. I wouldn't have found my strengths.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I did
Well,
8 years.
thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to serve our country.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, so 8 years with the Army, and then found myself in Afghanistan when I got back in 2017. I was really burnt out. And I kind of knew inside that I needed to do something else because I did not want to deploy again and go through that experience again.
Yeah, you were like, been there, done that, over it.
Yeah, I just kind of thought it was time to go.
Uh-huh.
So I fulfilled my 8 year contract. And then in 2019, in January, I separated from the Army.
Okay.
Okay.
So separated, and I was serving in Washington State at that time. And when I separated, I immediately transitioned into contracting for the federal government. It's like a no-brainer. A lot of military people just transition into contracting for the government. So
Okay.
that's what I did. So I moved to Northern Virginia, which is where I'm at now. And, you know, and then when COVID hit in 2020, we were all sent home. And one day I was on the internet, I was playing around on the internet, and I bumped into energy healing and Reiki. And I was like, okay, I don't have a clue what this is, but this is kind of interesting. So I found a woman who was teaching Reiki classes. She's also in Virginia. So I signed up for a class. And man, I opened up almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did Reiki on myself, I could feel the energy flowing through me. And lo
Okay.
and behold, I started to hear energy as well. So like when
Wow.
it was coming, I could hear it.
That's
So
the first time I've heard anybody say that. Can you like explain that or go into that a little bit, expand on it?
sure. So
Hearing
I
the
don't know
energy.
whether you're familiar with this. I'm kind of like dating myself, but have you seen $6 billion Man? It was a really old show in like the
Seven,
80s, maybe.
80s?
I
Yeah.
mean, we're
I
80s babies, but I don't
yeah,
know
I
if
was
that rings
I
a
was born
bell.
in '84, but I don't.
Uh, okay,
I've
it's
heard
like
of it. I've heard of it. Yeah, but I never seen any episodes.
okay.
okay. If you can try and look up for it on YouTube.
Oh,
And
I
anyway,
will.
it's
Okay.
Lee Majors. I believe it's Lee Majors. I don't know whether he's still around, but he was the $6 billion man, and they
Okay.
kind of like uh, they put some metal in him, so he became somewhat like the Terminator, but
Okay.
80s
That movie
version
I
of
know.
So when
I'll
he
be
gets
back.
into that kind of different $6 billion man mode, there's like a weird energy, weird sound that they play in the movie,
Okay.
and that's how I associated the energy coming through. I could kind of like hear it. It's hard for me to put it into words,
No,
really.
no. Thank you for saying that because now I'm going to go find the clip and probably stitch it in somehow.
And so yeah, so I was blown away because I knew like this was something legit and it was like not woo-woo stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go all the way. So I went all the way to the master level in May 2021.
Okay.
And I when I was done, I just kind of put it aside. And
Oh,
I just felt like it wasn't time for me to do anything else with Reiki. So
but
I
you
just
had that skill in your belt though. Like you had
I
it ready
did.
to go.
Yeah, I was like doing Reiki on myself, but I just
Okay.
didn't feel like I want to do it on other people. Like,
You weren't ready to expand outwards with it yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was still doing Reiki and I could start, feeling the energy and hearing and stuff like that. So yeah, what was I saying? Where I lost my train of thought.
Um,
You
we
were
were
talking about
energy.
hearing the
Yeah,
energy.
okay. So yeah, oh yeah, I said I put it aside and I went back to my 9 to 5 grind, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I went back to my contracting job and I did that until April 2023.
Mm.
So in at the end of October 2022, I started to feel like I would call it like nudges from the universe to say,
Okay.
Mm.
hey, it's time to do more with Reiki. So
Okay.
I just felt this desire that I wanted to do Reiki on other people, not only on myself. So I started Pristine Soul Healing at the end of 2022. And in January of 2023, I, started operations with Pristine Soul Healing. However, I was still doing two things at the same time, business and contracting job.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it just got too much. It got too much.
Yeah,
In
understandably.
April this year, I was so exhausted and I kind of knew that I needed to make a decision because I couldn't carry on this way.
Mm-hmm. You knew you had to
And
pick one or the other, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I asked myself if I had to pick one, which one would it be?
Mm-hmm.
No brainer, right? I picked myself and my business.
Good for you, girlfriend. High five.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I left my job in April and starting from May 2023, I started 100%, fully focused on my business. And
Mm.
it's a journey. I'm learning so much because this is my first time being a business owner. So what do I know about running a business?
Well,
Not
congratulations. Congratulations.
much. Thank you. So, sometimes it gets overwhelming because, the ego mind goes all over the place and saying like you need to do this, you need to do that, you're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I meditate a lot and I kind of just put the intention out to the universe and I said, this is my first time being a business owner. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
All I can focus on is what's in front of me in my now moments. And I would like to focus on what brings me joy and peace, right? And I
Yeah.
said the big
Mm.
stuff like where to get clients and, you know, and how to make money and all that kind of 3D stuff. I said, I leave it to you. Whatever
Yeah.
needs to come into my awareness, let
Wow.
it, let it be so.
I
And
love
I'll
your
sit back
approach to this.
and
I'm very
I
impressed right now. I'm like,
don't
wow,
know.
she's like the epitome of the conscious creator. She just
Yeah.
trusts the universe, puts her intention out there with love and gratitude, and
Hmm.
lets the universe do the rest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Pretty
are
much what
we
we're doing.
really?
Right.
I mean, honestly, we're not in control of much. The only thing that we can control is how we respond,
Yes.
to life
Mm-hmm.
situations or to
Mm-hmm.
people. And, wanting to micromanage, that's just not out. That's just like out of our control. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah. I hear you. That
So,
resonates.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, that's basically my life story in a nutshell. I think I've gone on quite
No,
long.
I think that was a great story because you took us from the beginning till now. And I think that was a great transition. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you. So, do you want me to get into my spiritual journey?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's start with how you went from being a Catholic to embracing spirituality.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was born a Catholic, and then when I got divorced, I went to church, and then, the fear-based religion was not sitting well with me. So I left the church,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a free thinker for many, many years until I left the army in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, at that time, my mother-in-law was she was diagnosed with cancer, and they put her in hospice,
Mm.
and we went to visit. And honestly, that was the first time, me for myself as an adult, like really witnessing somebody on their transition journey. It was a very profound experience for me.
Mm.
And so when she passed, I started to question, because, like, I was telepathically putting thoughts out into the universe, and I said, I just kind of saw you a few hours ago, and now you're no longer here. So where do you go? Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
what's happened to you? So I started to question, and thinking back now, I think that was the gift that my mother-in-law gave me, because she was the catalyst to
I've
really.
been thinking that word since you mentioned it, but I didn't want to interrupt you, so I was holding on to that. Because I was going to ask you, was her passing a catalyst into your spiritual awakening?
Yes,
You just took the
absolutely.
thought out of my head.
See, we're connected, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so she gave me a wonderful gift, and she
Oh,
was
that's okay.
she
That's
was
really
the
sweet.
catalyst to really start my spiritual awakening. So, I went down the rabbit hole. I started, like, reading a lot of books. I even subscribed to Gaia TV.
Oh, Gaia was huge for me on my journey too.
Yeah.
I binged like all of their content.
Oh yeah. And I was immediately drawn to, like, channelers.
Mm.
Ah,
Um I don't know whether you know about Ruben Langdon, the
yep.
Interview with Extra Dimensionals. I
Mm-hmm.
was immediately drawn to that show,
Okay.
and I watched all of it, all of the episodes, right?
So you
And
binged them all too.
I did. And so the channelers that resonated with me, like, for example, Paul Salick,
Yeah,
Lisa Royal
he's a big
Hall.
channeler for me too. Yeah, Selig.
Yeah, Salick. I saw Salick at a workshop.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
really?
He was, because I'm in Virginia, and he was having a workshop in Annapolis in Maryland.
Oh.
Okay.
And I felt compelled to go see him.
Mm.
Like, I booked the tickets and everything, and I drove all the way to Annapolis, and it was like I want to say a 2-day workshop.
And what
So
was that like?
that was phenomenal.
Mm.
Paul Selig is a top-notch channeler, and
Okay.
Nice.
we could feel the energy in the room, and he was channeling. So yeah, so back to Gaia TV,
Uh-huh.
I like I said, Paul Selig, Lisa Royal Hall, Jamie Price. Uh, these three were the main ones for me. So,
Okay.
so I dove deeper into their teachings. I took a light language class by Jamie Price,
Okay.
and I went on Lisa's website, and I found out that she has a lot of contact meditations.
Okay.
Because Lisa specializes in, like, channeling galactic energies, a lot of, like, ET beings and stuff.
Okay.
And her contact audios helps um us to get into that state so that we can make contact, right, through meditation. So
Yeah.
Would that
I
be considered like a CE5 or is that just something separate somehow?
you know what, she was working with Dr. Greer in her early
Oh.
days. She was
Okay.
also involved in the CE5 project, but then I think she branched out on her own.
Okay.
Okay. So then, I started listening to contact meditations, and the first contact meditation that I listened to, it was from the Hyperion group. So the Hyperion group is a uh, fifth density beings. They're like light beings, and they reside in Hyperion, which is
Okay.
Saturn's moon.
Okay.
So that was the very first contact meditation that I listened to. And so I listen to it at night, and I kind of just fell asleep. And then, like in the wee hours of the morning, this like huge, um, like cinema screen, right, just popped up, in front of me, and I was awake. I was not in my dream state. So,
Okay.
Really?
yeah, when the screen popped up, I
What did
was
it
like, "Ooh."
show?
It first showed huge words like peace, love, joy, right? And then it kind of like dissipated, and then it switched into like the zodiacs with all the stars and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was pretty cool. And then it dissipated, and then I
Okay.
kind of just fell back to sleep, right?
Okay.
So then in the next morning, I kind of looked, and I was questioning. I was like, okay, what the heck just happened? You know?
Yeah.
So I just had a sense that it was due to the contact meditation.
Mm.
So I started doing more and more and more, and and it wasn't long before I started to get like beings coming.
Oh.
Yeah, I could actually like, okay, so like I said, I'm not in my dream state. So when the high frequency comes in, right, to connect with me, it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
like I'm immediately awake. Boom, my eyes are open.
Okay.
So I think it's something to do with my energetic field. I think they're activating my energetic field, and then I just wake up.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so then I started to see like Pleiadian beings. I started to see Syrian beings. They were all like humanoid.
Okay.
And don't ask me how I know they're Pleiadian or Syrian. I just know when I see them. I just have this
It's just
knowing.
an inner knowing. I gotcha.
Right.
Mhm.
So the Pleiadians came, and then the Syrians started coming a lot, right? And recently, I started having contact experiences with light beings where they're not really physical. They don't really look like us. They look more ET.
Mhm.
Oh,
They're like
okay.
they're like blue in color. They're blue, and then they have like really big eyes. I think I sent you that
I
image.
was just gonna ask you, would this be a good time to show those pictures?
Oh yeah,
Were they by
Yeah.
absolutely.
Vishta? Is that who we're crediting for them?
No, Vashta,
Oh,
not
sorry.
Vishta,
Sorry.
Vashta.
Sorry.
She's a galactic artist, and she did the Hamon and Sasha, which is two beings that Lisa channels, the
Okay.
Okay.
Pleiadian and the Syrian. And she also did Bashar, which is channeled by Daryl Anka.
Yeah, Daryl. He's on my TikTok all night long. Like when I'm scrolling through TikTok, like I gotta go look at all these Bashar videos. He's got good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, Vashta does amazing work.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll throw those up on the
Um,
screen for you.
okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I started getting experiences with light beings, and
Mhm.
then I also witnessed myself as pure consciousness.
What was that like?
Um, it's strange. It's like I'm me, right? My consciousness is still the same, but it's just that I don't have a body.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I witnessed myself traveling in deep space, and I was like going at the speed of light because
Yeah.
I was whizzing past planets and stars, and they were like streaks of light. I was going that fast. And
I can relate.
oh, you have that experience too?
I do.
Oh, we. Yeah. How's that like for you?
It's amazing. It's I love it. I love flying.
Yeah, you astral travel a lot,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I witnessed myself in space, and then I kind of like go into this parallel reality where I'm kind of, suspended in midair. I'm floating. I lower my hand.
Oh. Like it.
That's a
So,
Zoom feature.
so yeah, I mean, I'm suspended in midair. I'm floating, and then I'm witnessing, people and situations. This still look human. I think maybe I'm in another timeline, like a Earth timeline. Yeah. So I recently I've been traveling a lot at night, astral traveling. So, I get like visions of like, it's weird. I keep going to this timeline where there's this like majestic white horse,
Ooh,
and it's
Wow.
very quantum looking. And I always go visit this horse.
Okay.
nice.
Connection with this horse.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my experiences so far. And so, okay, Archangel Michael. So
Yeah.
my first time having an interaction with Archangel Michael was when I was in channeling class. And I started channeling class in February and it ended in November. So I noticed that about a week prior to class, channeling class,
Mm-hmm.
I would have a lot of like contact from, ET beings and visions and stuff like that. So it was June. It was in June was my first experience with Archangel Michael, and it was like I want to say like 3 days before channeling class started. And so how he appeared to me, he was like a humanoid,
Mm-hmm.
but he was like a silhouette. Like I couldn't really see his face, but what I could see was his majestic, powerful wings.
Oh.
Wow.
Like they were like pure white.
Wow. Okay.
And um, something in me just asked the question, and I said, "Are you Archangel Michael?"
Mm.
And I didn't get a response. So after a few seconds, the energy dissipated. And thinking about it now, it's strange why I asked Archangel Michael, like, how did Archangel Michael even come up? It could be Archangel Gabriel, Archangel,
Uriel.
yeah, Raphael.
Right.
Like, why did I choose Archangel Michael?
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about it now, I think I on my higher self knew it was Archangel Michael. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I didn't get a response. So then I go to channeling class 3 days later, and Lisa has all these consciousness cards,
Okay.
where she shuffles it and then she pulls a card and we try and connect with that consciousness.
Oh wow.
So she shuffles the card and then she pulls the card, and the first card that she pulls is Archangel Michael.
There's your answer.
I was like, okay, this is my confirmation that
Synchronicity.
it was you.
Yeah.
And the next day, right, class, we have 2 days worth of class every weekend. So the next day we had do the cards again, but this time it was like our group. We broke into groups of 4. So one of my channeling classmates, she shuffled the cards and she picked the card, and it was Archangel Michael
Again. So double confirmation. Synchronicity.
So then I started to realize that, I think I have a connection with Archangel Michael, and I wanted to really dive deeper into my connection with him.
So what'd you
Yeah.
do?
I booked myself a session with Daniel Scranton.
I love him. I had a session with him too.
I had 2 sessions with him. And,
Nice.
and, yeah, he's awesome.
Shout out to Danny.
And so I asked the Arcturians, the Arcturian Council.
Yep.
I explained to them what happened. I said, Archangel Michael visited me, and he showed up like, a total of 3 times in a span of a few days. And I was like, what is my connection there?
Mm-hmm.
So they tell me that when my soul came to this universe to incarnate,
Mm-hmm.
I chose to align with the collective, the huge collective known as Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael is just not one being, it's actually a gigantic collective.
Okay.
So so my soul chose to align with Archangel Michael. So basically he's like, the collective that has, guided me, my soul really.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Arcturian said that, I will always be special to Archangel Michael, and
Aw.
Aw.
that's why he's like coming to let me know of my connection.
Mm.
So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. So in October, Archangel Michael showed up again, right?
How this time?
Again, a few days before class.
Seems to be a pattern.
Why would he not?
So this time he showed up, it was like a side profile, and he was again a silhouette. I couldn't see his face, and again the wings were majestic.
Mm.
Mm.
And the great thing was that he started flying, like
Oh,
people clapping, and he was flying away. And I was like, "Whoa, that's so
How
cool."
tall was he? Was he
Um,
tall?
I can't say because I just he seems like normal size to me, but I'm
Okay.
sure he's not.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, he doesn't come across as too gigantic in my visions. He just comes across as a normal sized person.
Okay.
okay.
Um, so yeah, he started flying, and I recognized him this time because I saw him in June, and it
You're
was
like, hey, I know your face.
yeah,
I know your
yeah,
energy.
I know your wings.
Yeah.
yeah. His
Mm.
wings are so beautiful.
Mm.
And so yeah, I went and asked more questions about myself, my past lives with the Arcturians.
Mm.
And well, let me back up. So one of my channeling classmates, she she has been receiving visions since she was a child.
Okay.
And one day she texts me and she said, "Oh, you need to call me because I have a message for you. I just received a vision about me, right?"
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So I called her up, and she was explaining that she saw me in Egypt as a caretaker of cats. And she also saw me in Egypt having a connection with Sekhmet and Hathor. So I was blown away. I was like, oh my God.
Yo, I'm sorry. I had a
What?
psychic tell me that in a past life, I also took care of cats in Egypt, and something about the what is it, Bastet? Batest?
Oh, Bastet. Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
That's who I worked with. Oh my god, yo, you just blew my mind because I totally forgot about that until
Yeah,
just now.
now.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Wow.
That was like powerful. I was
Wow.
like, I totally forgot about that till you just said it. I was like, wait a minute, me too. Oh
Yeah,
my
you know
gosh.
what? That's why we're connecting now. This is a soul contract,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I feel like
Talk
my
about a
face is
cosmic
red.
Each
connection.
other in previous lifetimes. That's why we're
Whoa.
connecting.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm still having chills.
Yeah.
So shout out
Um,
to our Egypt past lives.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. So so yeah, she said I was a caretaker of cats and I had a connection with Sekhmet and Hathor. So then I asked the Arcturians about my connection, and I said, my friend, this is what my friend told me. So, what's the connection?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Arcturian said that when my Egyptian self, um, I was a male high priest working under Horus, and my
Okay.
mission in that life was to create portals on Earth so that the Egyptians could use their portals to travel to, other dimensions and other star
Oh,
systems.
wow.
And so they said that even though I was working with Horus on this mission, however, I had very close connections with Ra, with Isis, with Hathor and Sekhmet because they also lend their wisdom in this project, apparently. And
Wow.
so I
Wow.
work very closely with them. And the Arcturians also say that in my Atlantis life, I was also a male high priest. But in that life, I was working with a lot of crystals. And I was like
Mm.
building crystalline chambers so that people can go in and heal their
Oh, wow. So like
illnesses.
resonance chambers almost.
I think so. I think so.
Wow.
Okay.
So that was two very prominent lifetimes for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so let me see what else. So okay, about the hybridization project. So I have hybrid children.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was obviously part of the hybridization project. And I have had two hybrid children come visit me twice.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when I saw them in my visions, I immediately knew they were mine because I felt so much love for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they always show up with a cat and a dog. And
Okay.
it's a girl and a boy. And the first time they showed up, they were kind of like So, just imagine they're face to face with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the little boy, he was waving at me like, hey.
Aw.
So, when I saw them, I was so, yeah, I knew they were mine. And it's all about love, really.
It is.
Absolutely. So may I ask, how do you know you're part of that program? Like what happened that
Oh, the Octorians told me. They
Oh, they
said,
told you. Okay,
yeah,
okay. Okay.
they said I have hybrid children in the galaxy, and when I go to sleep, my astral body travels to go visit my children. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Do you
so
have any like UFO experiences or perhaps maybe even close contact of the fourth kind experiences?
um, I actually dreamt, okay, so Lisa channels Sasha, right, the Pleiadian being.
Okay.
And I recently had a dream where I was on a spaceship and I was attending a class given by Sasha.
Okay.
I could not see her in the dream, but she was like an energy that was like in front of the class, and I immediately recognized that it was Sasha because I was familiar with her energy.
Okay.
So yeah, I have had dreams of being on spaceships, but I wouldn't say it's like very prevalent dreams. They're not like
Okay.
dreams that I get all the time, but I have I definitely know I've been on spaceships because I had a few dreams.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah.
That's interesting. It's super synchronistic too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you want to
Wow,
talk
you
about
guys
it.
have dreams too, being on spaceships.
He's had one, well, a
Uh,
few. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just your galactic family just getting in touch and saying hello. That's all.
And I've had so many dreams of being in school, but I've also literally been in school like my whole life. Like I started in pre-K and then I went and got a bachelor's degree in college and became a teacher. So then I was in school, but like from the other side of the desk, you know? So, and then
Yeah.
I taught in public schools for 10 years.
Oh
So
wow.
for me to have a dream about being in school, I just related it to being in school my whole life, you know?
So
Maybe it was
you're
on a spaceship. I don't know.
yeah. So you have the teacher energy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she
that's
definitely
cool.
does.
Yep.
That's very profound work, teaching children.
Mhm.
So what do you guys feel about open contact? Um, you
I
know.
feel like we're getting there. Like I feel like we're on some kind of precipice to where it's right around the corner. I feel like, we're always talking about UFO disclosure, and for most people, disclosure is defined as the government telling us, "Hey guys, guess what? Aliens are real." I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to go down like that. I don't
Yeah.
think they're ever going to admit their 100 years of lies. I think it's going to happen more on an individual basis where so many people like us have our own individual experiences that
Mhm.
just confirms it for us to where we don't need anybody else to tell us if it's real or not because we
Right.
just know.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh yeah, I totally resonate with that because for me personally, I've had so many experiences with ET beings, and honestly, I don't need the government to tell me like there's ET beings because I know.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right.
Yeah.
know they exist,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the route for humanity. I think a
Okay.
lot of people are having their own ET experiences, and being taken aboard spaceships, and
Yep.
they're just kind of like working on the individual level right now so that we get comfortable with the ET idea, with the ET
Mm.
concept. But according to Bashar, I think was it like 2026 or 2027? There's going to be some major contact experience.
And that's funny that
Yeah,
you say that
because
because there's this big looming thing
mhm.
about 2026, 2027. I think even Dr. Stephen Greer mentioned something about that in that time frame there's going to be some big thing that's going to be like world shocking. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's some sort of like leading up right now and it's like when you're clicking up to go onto a roller coaster when the roller coaster is
Right.
clicking up it's like click
Right.
click 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 and
Right.
we're right at that little we're like right there. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And if you follow like Daniel Scranton's
Sure
channel
do.
messages every day, if you see like the Octorians are starting to talk about open contact, right, which is
Yeah.
inevitable and it's coming, and they're kind of like starting to prepare us.
So what's
So,
your opinion of open contact? Do you feel the same, or is there a
oh
different
yeah.
perspective you have?
Oh no, absolutely. I welcome open contact,
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
know there's still people who have fear about ETs and
Sure.
open contact. They will like probably go to another timeline, and those that are more open will go to another
Yeah.
timeline. So
Which is what Dolores Cannon spoke about, where Earth herself is going through an ascension process right
Right.
now. And
yep.
you can choose to align yourself with the 5D ascension, or if you're not in that state of mind yet and you're going to work your timeline out on the 3D, you're just going to go through it that way and stay within the programming you've been
Yeah.
born into. But there is like an ascension process where the earth is splitting and you either align with the higher vibes and you ascend, or you align with the vibes that are happening right now and you just work it out that way.
Well, yeah, also, souls have choice, right? They have free
Yeah.
will. And if they
Yeah.
choose to not go through the ascension for whatever reason,
Mhm.
they would just, exit at some point.
Yeah. What
Right?
is your
Because
opinion of soul contracts? Since you just mentioned that our souls have free will, where does that how does that align with soul contracts and the idea behind that?
yeah, I mean, soul contracts, it's an agreement, right? I mean, before we incarnate, we
Yeah.
choose, even we choose our parents, that's a soul
Mhm.
contract, right? Like
Mhm.
everything is agreed in the universe. Nothing is ever compelled to, upon us, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I agree that soul contracts definitely exist.
Okay.
And it's a way that we choose our experiences with each other or,
Mhm.
with self and stuff like that. And um, however, soul contracts can be changed. It's not like set in stone kind of thing where because we have free will and you
Yeah.
know, I think when we go to sleep at night and we travel on the astral plane, I think we get counsel by our guides and stuff.
Mm.
And we for whatever reason we say, okay, I'm in this situation now in on earth. I want to try something else. So, maybe you make new soul contracts and then
Mm.
terminate like existing ones,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's all like, it's a very fluid process, I think.
That's an interesting concept for me because I've only heard of people reviewing and going over their soul contracts in like an NDE event. But the concept of maybe potentially going over them even while we're sleeping, that gives me hope because I don't know what the heck I was drinking when I made my soul contract, but we need to edit that thing real quick, because there's a couple of things on there I don't get down with no more. So where's
Hey,
that paper?
well, look at it this way. You are a master soul, Ellie, right? You signed up for maybe difficult experiences because you knew you could take it, right? You could.
Mm.
That's true too. Hard knock life. What can I say?
Yep. Same.
And it's for your soul evolution. Your soul is so neutral. It
Mm,
welcomes so-called challenges in
yeah.
life because it just rapidly, evolves your soul. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
like I said, everything we experience in life serves us in some way. There's always a higher purpose, you know?
Love that lesson.
Me
Yes.
too.
Yes, because it's going from being a victim mindset of why is this happening to me and changes it into a victor mindset of what is this or what lesson is this experience providing for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
instead of it being something that's negative that you got to then deal with all the time, it's something that's positive that you gain something from,
Right.
and then you carry that with you as a strength.
right,
Right.
exactly. You know, going back to like my divorce, like I say, it wasn't a healthy relationship, but
Mhm.
if I didn't go through that unhealthy marriage and going through the divorce and the angst and the judgment and all that stuff,
Mm.
it actually serves me because now in my line of work, I'm helping women who are divorced or going through a divorce, and
Okay.
I can relate to them because I went through
Sure.
exactly the same thing, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, you go through so-called challenges in life so that you can, in the end, help other people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I think now would be a great time for you to mention your retreat coming up in December. Is it a retreat or
Oh, yeah.
what's the right word to describe it? Forgive me for not
It's a
remembering.
healing circle.
Okay, there
A
we go.
healing circle. Okay.
Yeah. So, like a couple weeks ago, I had a download that I needed to do a healing circle at the end of the year for divorcing women or newly divorced women because,
Okay.
as we know, during the festive season, it can be a very emotionally difficult time for this group of women.
Absolutely.
So I kind of just had a download and I felt guided to do it. So I just kind of like say, okay, I'm just going to do this and put it out and see what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the healing circle is on the 29th of December at 5 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be an online event via Zoom. And they can sign up for it at my website, www.pristinesoulhealing.com.
Okay.
And yeah, so my work now with, well, when I first started my business, it was primarily Reiki,
Okay.
right? And it was strange because one day during meditation, I just felt like I needed to do more with my business, but I did not understand. I couldn't have an idea what more meant, what more was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
asked during meditation, I was like, I feel like I need to do more, but please, guide me to
Guide me as to
what
what
it
that
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So lo and behold, a couple of days later, I go on this. Have you heard of Udemy? It's like all these classes on Udemy, the platform.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anyway, Udemy has tons of classes. So I went on Udemy and I wanted to just, purchase a few classes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I bumped into professional life coach certification. So I was like, this is interesting. So I signed up. It was like $25 or something.
Okay.
So
That's affordable.
yeah, so I took the class. It was a very in-depth class. I took like 2 weeks to finish that class. And it started to like make sense. Like, hey, maybe this might be my more, to help people through coaching
Mm-hmm.
to get from point A to point B in life, where they're at and where they want to be.
A way to
Yeah.
give back almost too,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was also really drawn to forgiveness and transformation coaching. So I took
Sure.
2 additional classes. Um, and I just felt like I needed to help women, work with women, and specifically women who were divorcing or newly divorced. So
Hmm.
Okay.
yeah.
I love how you
Thank you for
full
that.
circle took charge of something that could have been considered devastating and instead turned it into something empowering.
Yeah.
Oh
Good
yeah.
on you for doing that. That is amazing.
Well, caveat, it was devastating at that time.
Right, but you
Right.
turned it into something empowering now with your business, and I just think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I gotta thank the universe for that. It's all, the universe is guiding me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the human self, the ego mind, I don't think I would have put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
Archangel Michael was giving you those bumps of encouragement, though, right?
Really, I think when I see these ET beings and Archangel Michael, I think they're kind of like downloading to my higher self. I think the
Yes.
human self, my human self, I don't get anything. I don't get any answers, but I think they're kind of like downloading
Mm.
stuff. So because when I wake up, sometimes I get like inspiration and I get ideas.
And you wonder where it
Right.
comes from, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know it comes from them.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I get downloads too. Well, not think, but I do get downloads too. And some of those downloads, the information that's being presented to me is just so life altering. It's like it's a very amazing and transformative experience.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, Pristine Soul Healing was not my idea. The name Pristine Soul Healing didn't come from me. I just woke up one morning and it was like Pristine Soul Healing. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You're the second person that we've spoken to whose business name, and by the way, she's also doing Reiki. It came to her from somewhere or somebody else.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Shout out Silver Girl.
Yep.
Silver girl, I know
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's on the server. So, hey, let me ask you, what advice would you have for people that are just starting out on their spiritual journey? Like, do you have any book recommendations or documentary recommendations or practice recommendations?
Yeah. For programs, I would say get on Gaia TV.
Okay.
I second that.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. And then for practice, I would say start with short meditations, because or breath work, meditation.
Yes.
Um, and you just need to find your center, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But you just gotta make it a point to find your center every day.
Mm.
5-10 minutes is all it takes. It doesn't have to be a lengthy process. And for books, yeah, I have 3 books that I would like to recommend. Number one is The Prism of Lyra,
Okay.
and the other book is The Golden Lake. And both of these books are channeled by Lisa Royal Holt.
Okay.
So I'll touch on The Prism of Lyra first. So that was the book channeled by Lisa. The collective is Germain. It's a very high frequency collective.
Okay.
And Germain specializes in like galactic history, Earth history. So this book is really
I've heard that
about
before.
Okay.
how the humanoid consciousness began, right? Through Lyra, the
Mm-hmm.
constellation Lyra, and
Okay.
how from Lyra it kind of like fragmented into different galactic races.
Oh, so Lyra's like the beginning point.
Correct, the beginning point, how it also
Oh.
explores how the initial fragmentation from source occurred, and how Lyra was like a very pivotal a pivotal point in our galactic history, because from Lyra the humanoid consciousness was really born through Lyra.
Wow, I
Okay.
need to get my hands on this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And so, it talks about, and then it explores all the different galactic races and their trials and tribulations within polarity,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
ways in which they integrated polarity and then ascended, in their evolution,
Mm-hmm.
like
Okay.
consciousness. And then the Golden Lake book is similar to the Prism of Lyra. It explores the galactic races again, but then it also goes further into Palladian teachings and Syrian teachings that were given to early humans. So it's
Okay.
making its way back into a present day. So the Palladians teachings, it's called the Golden Lake teachings. It's a very feminine based teachings,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the Syrian teachings is more masculine based teachings, and
Okay.
it's called the School of the Nine Serpents.
Okay.
So these 2 schools were very prevalent in in Earth history, ancient history, because those schools were kind of like um, helping early humans to kind of like awaken
Mm.
their divinity.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And so, yeah, I would highly, highly recommend these 2 books. If you're somebody who wants to know how everything started, the universe and galactic history and stuff, Prism of Lyra and the Golden Lake book is what you need.
Got it.
Okay.
The next book I want to say is The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I
Okay.
recently read this book, and it's a very empowering book because it teaches us how to communicate with our subconscious mind through muscle testing and maybe even through a pendulum
Mm.
to locate trapped emotions within our body, and more importantly, how to release them from our body. So you
Mm.
release them through a magnet, right?
Yeah.
He um, There's a specific process that you do. You ask questions according to a specific chart that he prepared. And then when you locate the trapped emotion, and then you can use like a fridge magnet, right? And then you use that magnet and you kind of swipe it down your governing meridian. We have a meridian along our forehead and all the way down to the bottom of our spine. Yeah, so you just swipe the magnet like, I don't know, 3 to 4 times, and voila, the trapped emotion is gone.
Wow,
Okay.
that's interesting. I thought you were gonna say like doing certain yoga poses for a certain amount of time.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Okay.
It's really simple.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you know what? I actually did this, you know, the emotion code,
Okay. So
and
you
it
could like
works.
testify that it works for you.
Oh yeah, it does. Because
Okay.
I started to feel like I did it during meditation one night, and the next morning when I woke up, I kind of felt different. I felt lighter.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I would recommend that, people do it like every 2 weeks to
Okay.
just kind of like, you know, clean out their energy field and their trapped
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
Sure. Great advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hey, why don't you ask your question?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is your greatest hope for the future of humanity?
Whoa. Okay.
It's a good question, right?
Okay. My hope for humanity is that we find coherence within ourselves, right? When we find coherence within ourselves, we'll find coherence in other people and
Hmm.
with Mother Earth as well.
Hmm.
And I think world peace starts with coherence within the self, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can just, do simple practices every day to find our center and get into coherence, I think that will be the catalyst to help us to move towards world peace
Hmm.
because we will be with inner peace in ourselves. So,
Yes.
there's no point to fight each other, right? Once
Right,
we're
right. That's
at
beautiful.
peace. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, this was an
Fill
amazing
your
conversation.
heart with love and your soul with love for
Absolutely.
yourself and
Yeah, because
everybody
once you
else.
learn to love yourself and once you realize that everybody else is essentially just fractals of you anyway, how could you
Yeah.
have any room for hate in your heart if everybody is the same one experiencing itself in different perspectives? I mean,
Oh,
how? Right?
yeah. Yeah. From Source's level, it's all about neutrality. Source
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, view us in polarity. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. Source just sees us as, doing our thing, having experiences and evolving in the process.
And that in
Yeah.
itself is a big lesson, which will take this conversation full circle, especially coming from a Catholic background, because you're taught the opposite.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, I don't know. I mean, from what I've learned through Lisa's channelings, is
Mm-hmm.
that religion is man-made, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some aspects that came from the ET teachings,
Okay.
but religion was created essentially to help us to stay connected to our ET family because the ETs came down to, teach us about our divinity and stuff. And then when they left, we felt abandoned.
Mm.
And so we kind of like created religion to help us to maintain that connection, but then it
Yeah.
started to get distorted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got misconstrued and twisted and used for
Yeah.
different
Like
reasons, right? Yeah.
I think meditation is I think prayer came from meditation and it got changed in such a way that you don't get the benefits that you are trying to get through prayer as you do through meditation.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm.
think you're onto something there.
Yeah, and I think that was possibly done on purpose to keep people at bay, to keep people from waking up.
Mm.
Yeah, humanity went through our sleep cycle, right? We were going
Mm-hmm.
down in sleep cycle. So when we were in our sleep cycle, everything got distorted because we wanted to experience separation at its deepest point.
Well, that worked.
Okay.
Yeah, but the good news is that we're coming out of that.
Right,
So
right.
Right,
We're
like with
going
that
up.
roller coaster thing I
yeah,
said earlier.
exactly.
Yeah, we're on the way up for
Yeah,
sure.
we're getting there. We're
The
getting
ascension
there.
train is on the right track. Woo woo!
Yep.
Wow,
we
guys,
gotta
this
we
was
gotta
amazing.
find a little train thing. Put
I have a train
oh, you
thing.
do?
I
Okay.
do.
Oh,
So
you mean for the
it'll
video?
probably be growing across the screen.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know.
Cool.
Priscilla, thank you so much. We
Yeah.
appreciate you spending your time with us. Was there any other last things you wanted to share or say?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I love connecting with the both of you.
Oh, thanks.
Aw.
And
Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
thank you. And I just want to give my last words is what it's all about love.
Yes.
Love yourselves. Love each other and love Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a wonderful being, and we're
Yes.
so blessed. with
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that was
Thank
such a
you so
beautiful
much.
closing message. Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank
you.
Namaste,
Namaste.
everybody.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.